So hello and welcome back to a very special, I know they say that most weeks, a very special edition of TNTV, because this week we're doing something, well, you may have already noticed that there's a third person on the stage. We have the incredible, amazing new image Nicki V. We have myself, Tony V, of course, and we have our faithful old friend Flippy, the flip chart. Now, you know, we have made hundreds of videos with Flippy, of course, but in TNTV world, in the last, 3 months, we've not used him. So we thought today we're going to get him out and show you how incredible he is.
That's right. And he's an integral part of our history, basically. Is that you may know this, but it's important today, is that when Tony and I got together, the very first thing that happened was that somebody asked us to go and speak. And I asked them, what do you want? What's your personal development do you want me to go and speak about? And they said, no, we don't want you. We want you and Tony to come and talk about intimate relationships. And so we actually created, for that first ever time we spoke about intimate relationships, we created an exercise on Flippy, which we'll tell you about more in a minute. And actually that has been incredible for us. We have used it so much, this exercise. It's the very first exercise we created, and it's been used over and over and over again with hundreds, maybe even thousands of couples now.
Yeah, it's what we call a foundational part of our teaching. So you're going to get like a rudimentary part, as we always say, like if you were building a house, if the foundations aren't strong, the house is in danger of falling down. And relationships, in relationships, there are a couple of fundamental foundational points, of which this is one. And if when you learn this, you go, oh my gosh, my foundation's not good enough, you need to get yourself underpinned and get learning this.
Yeah, because what I was going to say was, it's kind of like, it answers all the questions that we ever get asked, don't we? Because the biggest question we get is, why is this relationship not like it was when we first got together? Why do we not get on? Why do we argue? Why do things happen? Why do one of us, do some behaviour or another? It answers that question, and it gives you, and you're going to get that right hand today as well, it gives you the answer to what you should be doing, not a good word, could be doing, if you want to have your relationship back to where it was, but maybe even better than it was right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fundamental. This is the very tool that really changed our world. For 40 odd years, Nicki got through 2 marriages. I got through 2
and other men.
Well, yes, I'm only talking about the legal ones. Obviously, I was married and then had a long relationship, for which she was very disappointed we didn't get married. But hey, it was sort of similar, very similar. But we were getting similar crappy results in our relationships because we didn't know this stuff. So once we did, of course, it fundamentally turned everything around. So the first thing I want you to do is to turn off the film now, but just before you do, the reason you're turning it off is to go and grab a pen and paper, because you have to really play full out. This is an exercise, and if you don't write it down, when you see how it works, you're going to be kicking yourself, and you can't do it afterwards. You have to do it live.
And can I ask, for us blonde girls, they can pause it, can't they?
You just
because otherwise, if I turn it up, I'll have to re-find it again.
You just got to press the pause button if you're on YouTube, for goodness sake. If you're on the website, there's a pause button there. Then go and get your paper and pen and sit on the edge of your seat, excited, because there is no other couple in the world that teaches this stuff. And as Nicki said, it's fundamental, foundational stuff that not only saves our worlds, but has saved many people's relationships. So it's that important that you go get the paper and pen. So you're back with your paper and pen, yeah? Good. Okay, so
I apologise. He's in a crazy mood today.
So what you're going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to show you some words, yeah? There are 18 in total. And what you're going to do is I'm going to run through them one at a time, and you're going to write them down only if, and this is only if, this is the rules of the game. If you get this bit wrong, it's going to be a cock up.
Yeah, it won't work.
So basically, what you're going to do is I'm going to ask you the question, do you feel this regularly in your life? Or do this. Feel it, do it, experience it, whatever word. But the most important word is regularly.
Yeah? Do you do it regularly? Do you feel it
We're not
regularly?
saying, you did it last Christmas when you had your dinner because your auntie was round. That wouldn't be it, yeah? So what we're going to do is...
our example.
we are going to reveal these words, and then we're going to go through the list. Now,
ta-da!
Here's the list. We're going to start at the top. Don't look at all the list. Don't look at the words. Look at this word here first. This word is the word trusting.
Yes.
So if you are consider yourself to be a trusting person and you regularly do trusting, then write that word down. If that's not you and you think, I'm not a very trusting person, then don't write the word down. So we're going to end up with a list of words that you do experience regularly.
We really, really urge you to do this. Don't start reading the rest of the words. Actually just go inside of myself. Do I do that? Am I doing that? Write it down.
Yes,
Am I doing it regularly?
If you thought you could just keep it in your memory and you didn't turn off and go and get your pen and paper, you can turn off now. Yeah, turn off now. Go and get your pen and paper and actually do this, because it's what's going to give you the biggest result today. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So the second word is leading. Could swap it with the lead.
Are you a leader?
If you lead regularly or are a leader and you do that on a regular basis, consider yourself to be a leader, then write that word down. If you're not, then don't write it down. Now, we're going to the word driven. So if you are a person that's driven, you get up in the morning and you're driven to do certain things, then write that word down. If you go, that doesn't really match with me, don't really do that, then don't write it down. Allowing. So if you're a person that allows things to happen, then write that word down. If not, don't write it down. Surrender. So if you sort of surrender, well, it's a big word, isn't it? It's a big word. If you surrender your power, your energy to other people, situations, circumstances, things, then if you do that regularly, write the word surrender down. If you don't, then leave it out. Now, the next one is forward, letting go of control. So if you let go of control of everything, then that's, something you do regularly. Write down letting go of control. But if you're trying to control everything, don't write it down. Purposeful. If you're a purposeful person, again, wake up in the morning going, I've got my purpose, I'm on my purpose, then write that down. If not, then don't. Nurturing. If you're the nurturing type, and you go regularly, well, yes, what I do regular nurturing of people, then write it down.
And I'm just going to say, because obviously we're coaches, so we want to go, look, if you're having trouble like deciding whether you do these things, are these things, ask yourself this other question. What's the truth? As I think about the way I behave, what's the truth? Do I do this? And only if you do that regularly do you write it down.
Indeed. So now we're going to total strength. So if you feel inside of yourself that you're a totally strong person, you can sort of deal with anything the world throws at you. You're not, frightened in any way. Then I'll be writing that down. If that doesn't describe you, leave it out. Accommodating. It's a very nice thing to do, isn't it? Be very accommodating with people, circumstances, situation. If accommodating describes you, write it down. If not, leave it out. Pleasing. Do you please people? Many people pleasers are out there. If that's you, then write the word pleasing down. If that's not you, don't write it down. Owning. So when certain situations or circumstances happen, do you, jump out there and own it, solve the problem, that sort of stuff. If you do, write owning down. If you don't, then don't write it down. Powerful. Do you believe you're a powerful person? Strong, certain, those sorts of things. If you regularly feel powerful, then write that one down. If not, don't. Are you a non-demanding type? So if you are non-demanding, then just write that down. If not, then leave it out. Are you a fearless type? Fearless person. You wake up in the morning fearless of the world, fearless of other people. If so, get that written down. If not, leave it out. Acknowledging. Are you the type that acknowledges other people regularly? You're sort of always saying, oh, you're great, you do that lovely and whatever. Yeah, then if so, write acknowledging down. It's a strategy style. If not, then don't write it down. Last two, dominant. If you're a dominant style, you basically up the front there, then get that written down. And the last one is focused. Again, a bit like if you get up in the morning, you're very focused in on what you've got to do. Some routine people will got to do it like this. Very focused on what they're doing, then write that down. If not, then leave it off. So, well done, you've completed the exercise. Now, what you should have ended up with is a list of these words that you do or experience or feel regularly.
Yes.
Now, if you have all the words written down, you have all the words written down, I would say you need to visit it again and go, the word regular.
Yes.
Go through it again and go, okay. If you don't have any of the words written down, there's also something amiss. So you should expect about half of them written down, roughly, maybe a little bit one way or the other. So anyway, look, it's on video, you can turn it on and off and just get into truth about you, because the truth, as the saying goes, will always set you free, and it's definitely what's going to bring you the best from this exercise. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to share that each of these things, there's a sort of an energy about it. If you think about it, they're all like got an energy. So trusting's got an energy, just as accommodating's got an energy, or powerful's got an energy. Now, what you can say, and what we did and worked this out when we first wrote this down, is that some of these words you would consider to be more feminine, and some of them you would consider to be more masculine. So that's energy. So some are more masculine energy, some are more feminine energy, and it's which one are you utilising. So we're going to see if we can just go down here and score it. And we've got a pink and a blue pen, so I'm going to circle whether they're pink or whether they're blue. You probably haven't got a pink and a blue pen, so what you're going to do is you're going to write down masculine or feminine next to your word. Yeah?
Yeah, and just to be really, really clear, blue is masculine, pink is feminine.
Indeed.
Just in case anybody wasn't clear about that.
Indeed. So trusting is indeed a feminine energy word. So you'd write feminine next to it, you could put an F if you want to be fast-paced, yeah? Whereas leading is a very male-orientated thing, so it's got a more masculine energy about it. Driven, likewise, has got a more male energy, whereby allowing has got a more feminine energy. Surrender, more feminine. Letting go of control, more feminine. Purposeful, on the other hand, more masculine. Nurturing, more feminine. Total strength, more masculine. Accommodating, more feminine. Pleasing, more feminine. Owning, more masculine. Powerful, more masculine. Non-demanding, more feminine. Fearless, more masculine. Accommodating, more feminine.
Acknowledging.
Oh, sorry, acknowledging. Dominant, more masculine. Focused, more masculine. So that's your sort of scoring system, yeah? So what you're going to do is you're now going to tot up how many masculine elements you've got and how many feminine elements you've got. And this is an indication of the energy that other people experience from you. So, for example, in my old world, and indeed when we invented this, I wrote down most of the pink words. Nicki, on the other hand, wrote down most of the blue words. And even though we'd already made a massive shift when we did this exercise, we just recognised this was like somewhere deep inside of us. This was like what we perhaps grew up with. And we have sort of mastered this most of the time. Look, you know, it is true that if we get into disconnection, now remember, our basic teaching says that if a man's in male energy and a woman is in feminine energy, this causes a massive attraction. Now, even if we manage to slip up and I trip into being a little bit more feminine and Nicki does just a tad more masculine, you can sort of feel a gap grows between us. But of course, the magic that we've learned is to what to do with that, how to deal with that when we do that, and then get back into connection. Now, if like me, you know, in the old days, I ran a more pink pattern. Of course, what I tended to do was attract blue women, women that were more masculine, which indeed is what we have done anyway. But we managed to do the switch before we did it. So in a sense, we've got a much more healthy relationship than we've ever had before. And Nicki was really the opposite.
Yeah. So, and actually, if I just take you right back to the beginning, you know, when somebody asked us if we would speak and about our relationship, what we said was, okay, what do we really believe? There was a couple of other things, but this was the thing that we said. If we'd not learnt this, we probably would have still been running the same kind of patterns as we were running in the relationships that didn't work for us. Tony running a more feminine pattern, me running a more masculine pattern in our old relationships wasn't working at all. And what's interesting, of course, is that this goes on, you know, depending on how old you are, this can go on for years and years and years. And when actually it was Tony that decided to create this exercise, and we had flip chart in our office, and literally Tony said, as we go past, let's just write down words that are masculine energy or feminine energy. And I found it much easier to write down the masculine words, and Tony found it much easier to write down the feminine words. And so what really we need to do here, now you may be sitting there going, I've just totted this up, and actually I'm like the wrong way around. You know, I'm a woman and I've got a lot of blue words, a lot of masculine words, or I'm a man and I've got a lot of feminine words, a lot of pink words. Now, if that's the case, just celebrate, because seriously, if that hadn't happened for us, we would have not had that awareness, we would have not known why things went wrong in the past, and we would have not known what to do.
Yep.
Now, you might say, well, what do we do now? And
well, the first thing
yeah.
you don't do is bury your head in the sand.
No.
Because this could be a catalytic moment, I often call it. A catalytic moment of change. And we've done this exercise in many different forms. And I can tell you clearly that the people that have taken action, when they've realised they're sort of what we call just out of balance, look, we're not making it wrong, it's just out of balance with their male and female energy, once they've taken the action to turn it around and start that journey, everything started to change from them. So again, I think I agree totally with Nicki. It's a celebration time, not oh my God, let me bury my hand. I don't want to know that, you know. So underneath, we have put a little click through to our very original DVD, which we created just after we created this. Now you will see us looking a bit younger, a few years some water. Let's say some water has gone under the bridge since then. But look, the core teaching is on this DVD. We made it was totally professional. It was made with Sony. It's absolutely. The foundations are all there for you to still learn today. So having a copy of that, it's got 4 hours of us sitting at Flippy, and also it's got a 12-page workbook with it, and it's all beautifully packaged in a lovely package. So I would suggest, if you do nothing else, click that button and buy that and just watch it. If you watch it on your own, that's great. If you watch it together, that's probably even better. But you will get those foundational parts of your relationship looking, and at least you'll be understanding it and aware of it now, and that you'll see that things can move towards, will get you moving towards each other even more than perhaps you are right now. And if you're terribly disconnected, this will start to connect you.
This will help you. We have many couples all over the country and the world with this kind of these words on their fridges, reminding them day on day. And literally, I was just using it right now because I was thinking to myself, I'm just being honest. I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't do the alternative. I'd ring all the blue ones and then all the pink ones, right? You see, so I was thinking, here's what I'd do if I was doing this. So what did? I just let go of control. I just did trusting. I just said to myself, it's okay. Tony's doing a fantastic job of explaining how this is, and so that you've got real clarity. And so all that you need to do is look at these words, the ones that you haven't got circled, or they haven't got, and go, what would it be like for me to live more, we take a step towards it, to be more in feminine energy if you're a girl, and masculine energy if you're a boy.
Yeah, now if you are realising that you need some serious help with this, then please connect with us. Up the top we've got the emergency support and the couples weekend stuff. Go fill the forms in, get that stuff, because that's probably the best way right now for us to help you. But we're going to have to leave you now. We don't want to take any more of your time. Trust you've had that catalytic moment and are now going to take some action. Everything's all around us. You just click the buttons and off you go. So from me, Tony B, and the incredible, amazing and beautiful Nicki B, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.